Welcome to the Small Business Heroes podcast, where small business owners tell their story so we can learn from their experience. My name is Tony Radford. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Small Business Heroes podcast. Today, I have Ian Larke from Project Maverick. That's Projekt Maverick. Ian, how are you today?
I'm really good, thank you.
Good, excellent. Why don't you just tell us about your business?
Well, Project Maverick, what we are is we're an online digital agency. We specialise in websites, social media, marketing consultancy work, SEO, videos, most forms of marketing, and we offer that service to smaller businesses, smaller to medium-sized businesses. What makes us different to other companies is we try and bridge that disconnect between the business owner and the client, looking at things a little bit differently. Most people, you can get a 16-year-old these days to create a website online, this sort of thing. What makes us different is how we actually present that and how we communicate that. What we do is we bridge that disconnect between the business owner's brain and the client's heart. What I mean by that is, for example, a plumber might have been 10 years in his business, building his business up from absolutely nothing. And he's now got 3 vans on the road, some people working for him and so on and so forth. What's important to him, he looks at those vans and he thinks, that's it, I've made it. This is it, these vans. So he'll put pictures of his vans onto his social media, onto his website and so on and so forth, because that's what matters to him. But whereas in fact what actually matters to the client is things like their safety, carbon monoxide poisoning of their family, this sort of, if their boiler isn't checked properly, that sort of thing. So what we do is we translate that language of the business owner and present it to the client in a way that they will understand and will project those value points across. And that's what we do.
It sounds like a really useful, actually probably vital service that you offer there to your clients. I mean, you must have had some interesting conversations, right? The plumber says, no, I want some vans and pictures of me with tools and stuff. And you're saying, but your client isn't interested in that. They don't really care. They're just interested in whatever they're interested in. How do you manage that conversation? Presumably you've got some resistance at times.
To be honest with you, we don't get a lot of resistance on that. But equally, as the business has developed and grown, we're able to offer that service to people who want and need and understand that they need to change the way that they're doing things in order to project that right message and in order to increase their sales and get themselves out there. So, yeah, we haven't really received a lot of resistance on that. But when you break it down, most people, they understand it. They get it. And they say, I kind of see what you mean. I didn't think of that. And, that's what I love about what I do. And that gives me my passion for the business.
Yeah, that engagement's really helpful. It's a really good service. Yep. And how long have you been in business, actually?
We've been in business 5 years.
Right.
The company sort of like developed. We started out actually as an estate agency, trying to be a little bit different in terms of how we're marketing properties and this sort of thing. And it morphed into offering that service for businesses.
Right, okay. And whereabouts are you based, actually?
We're based in Woodford.
And where is that? Is that in London?
Woodford Green. That's IG8. That's, what is that near?
It's in London, isn't it?
Yeah. Just
Right.
North London. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. And your clients, are they just from London, or are they just UK, or?
No, I mean we have clients from as far afield as Mansfield, all over
Mhm.
London, the southeast. Majority of our business is through from network connections, this sort of thing. So yes, it tends to be in the area where we are actually based. But equally, yeah, there's no reason why we can't build a website for somebody in Scotland. And that's the beauty of the whole Zoom situation now. It's opened up big opportunities for us in that sense.
Yeah, because in the past it would have been kind of more difficult not to have that face-to-face meeting,
Yes, exactly.
right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the world has changed in the last few
It
months.
certainly has.
Anyway, it sounds like you've got a really interesting business model there, and quite a nice proposition that you have and package. What's been your biggest challenge in business?
Our biggest challenge in business is I genuinely believe that you really need to provide the best possible service, the best value, the most unique and maverick ideas, and so on for your client. You need to have a real passion for their business. You need to get inside their business, feel it, understand it, which is what we do. Initially, when you're building up a business, you're probably a little bit less fussy about your clients in the sense of you're needing that turnover, you're needing that business to come in. So that was a big challenge for us in terms of the people that we were dealing with, in terms of the clients that we were dealing with. In some instances, um, perhaps there wasn't the passion there as much because they weren't, a bit like you spoke about before, they weren't quite so flexible. No, this is what we want and this is how we want it done and that's how we want it, yeah, to be presented. So that was a big challenge for us. But we're now in that position where, yeah, through that initial consultation with clients, we're able to establish their desire for change and how we understand the business, and all equally as well look to specialise in certain markets as well.
Right, great. Okay, that's good. Yep, thank you. Um, what would you say would be one thing that you'd wished somebody had told you when you started out in business?
I think with that one, it's the whole when working for yourself, the demands that have on your personal life, on life in general, and just getting that right life work balance. And you can tend to be initially, when it all kicks off, you can tend to be very consumed in that, and yeah, it then takes a while. So that's kind of what I wish that somebody had have told me, really, in terms of from day one how to get that right life work balance, basically. Because we're better people if things are good at home, and we're strong with the family, and so on. And yeah, it's important that you don't neglect that side of things.
How did you do that? How did you get the work-life balance?
It's almost a bit trial and error in a way, and kind of you learn through your mistakes with it, and there comes the awakening at times as to sort of, well, I haven't done this for however long with the family, and I haven't done that, or somebody might say something to you and that sort of thing, and it just makes you realise, and you stand back and look at it. So yeah, I've had help with sort of like people, mentors, and people talking to me that have been down that road before. And yes, I kind of wish that I'd probably done that earlier on in the evolution of the business.
Yeah, I totally understand that. I started a software company, and if I took an afternoon off, Sunday afternoon, I would start to feel slightly agitated because it's just a
Yeah,
completely mad situation, especially when you've got 3 children.
yeah.
Um, So what would be the next step for your business? Where do you go from here?
The next step, we're ambitious. We want to grow. I'd like to develop much more the marketing consultancy side of the business in terms of almost like that coaching of businesses. Yes, we can create a website for you, we can do social media management and so on, but in terms of just coaching people on how that all works together and how if all those parts are tuned in together, it makes for a much more stronger marketing machine, basically. So that's kind of how I see the business developing. Is yes, we keep the services that we're doing and we continue to develop those, but also particularly focus on the consulting side of the business. I feel I have a lot to offer as far as that's concerned.
Would that be something that you would lead, or would you get other people involved?
I think that would very much have to be centered around me. I mean, I'm very keen to sort of, help people. I think we've got some quite maverick and unique ideas and ways of doing things, and you can't just recruit somebody tomorrow to actually do that. So yes, I accept whilst the business, yes, is going to grow, there are obviously limitations to that side of the business because that's very much centered around myself.
And you as a person, how did you learn these skills?
Going back, I have limited sort of like formal sales and marketing training and this sort of thing. I just think it's something that, this is going to sound a bit weird in a way. I think it's just something that you're born with. It's just the way that you are. I see things differently. I'm able to stand back from things and look at the overall picture. And I think I'm a good communicator with people as well. And yeah, those skills, it's enabled me to, be able to help and develop those businesses.
Right, great. That's really good. So talking of marketing and marketing skills and a view of things, I mean, if somebody gave you £500 and said you must spend this on some form of marketing activity, what would you spend it on?
What I would spend it on would be, I would put that into networking. I would look to get an additional member of my team into a networking group somewhere. I'm part of BNI, and probably about 80% of my business comes from BNI. And really, I kind of wish that somebody had told me about it 10, 20 years ago, really. But it's all that power of relationships, that power of network. And I think the larger your network is, the more sales and development opportunities that you have as a business. And yes, as long in any business, as long as that's always growing, I think it makes for a healthy business. I mean, most business owners, if you ask them where they've got their business from, it's from recommendations, it's from referrals, it's from customers that are using you at the moment that are happy and recommend you through. So to be able to increase that network by, like I say, having somebody else in another networking group somewhere to spread the word, so to speak, I think that would be very, very effective, good value for money as far as marketing and sales are concerned.
Yeah, when I was in software development projects, I think probably 90% of our work came from referrals or more work for the current clients, which probably we got from a referral anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's really interesting. I think you mentioned coaching earlier, but when we talked about taking time off and so on, and being in control of your time and the amount of time you work. Do you actually? I mean, do you have any business mentors or coaches?
I'm losing you a bit there.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
I've lost the audio with you. Can you hear me still?
Yeah,
Oh, I've got you back now.
got me back. Okay. We spoke earlier about work-life balance, and I think you mentioned coach then. I mean, do you have a business mentor or coaching?
I've recently taken on a business coach, which I've found extremely helpful and productive. Up until about 10 years ago, I'd always worked for a big corporate organisation, management within a company like that, and you always had that certain amount of accountability, and that I think is a big challenge for small business owners. It's having that accountability. So often that we know the answer, but we try and tell ourselves, no, it's not, okay, I don't actually need to change this. Oh, but really in our heart, we know, well, actually, I do really need to change this. So I found great worth over the recent years, in terms of a couple of mentors, people that it's like, I know if I'm going to tell him about this, he's going to say, what are you doing, Ian? No, you need to do it like that. And you know the answer before you even talk to them about it. But it's just that whole accountability and making sure you do what you say you're going to do and you don't put things off and that sort of thing. So I've found a great worth in that. I think every small to medium sized business owners should have at least one or two mentors, people that they speak regularly to, that understand and know their business, know the challenges that they have within their business. Because it's a lonely world out there sometimes as a business owner, and I think you need that support and above all accountability.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I'm in a weekly accountability thing with one person. We're accountable to each other, actually, and there's so many benefits from it. Even planning the next week's work, it comes out of that weekly email sort of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really good. You're in business and you've got the natural, marketing aspect to your personality, if you like. Could you give us an actionable sales tip?
It's a silly little one, really, but not many people know about it, and I found it very, very helpful. Is everybody gets very fed up with the WhatsApp groups. And so much business now is actually, people are more active on WhatsApp than they are on email these days. And yes, there's the WhatsApp groups and messages keep popping up and so on, but there is facility within that you can do WhatsApp broadcasts, and not many people know this. So what I was talking to an insurance company, one of my clients the other day, and what I suggested to them is that they create broadcast groups on their phone for all the different months renewal clients, so that they're then able to send a message out to those clients a month, 6 weeks, whatever, before their renewal, send messages with special offers, this type of thing. But because it's a broadcast, it's done, if it's worded correctly, it's done very much like a personal message. For instance, I used to be in a different type of industry, and I created a broadcast group for a lot of my contacts that were in that old industry. It's sort of like, hi, how are you doing? This is me now. This is what I'm doing. Send that broadcast out to, let's say, about 30, 40 people. But it was done, like I say, as very much a personal message. So to them, it was just coming from me. It wasn't going to 30 other people as well. And all of a sudden your phone's lighting up and people are having conversations with you, and again it's just that engagement and getting people talking, making people aware of what's going on. I found it very, very effective. And to manage that sales contact list that you have on your phone as well. For instance, another thing is as well, in terms of asking for reviews, you might have 20, 30 customers, you might think, oh, I need to really try and get my Google reviews up. I've only got 6 on there at the moment, but whatever it might be. And so you create, again, a very personal message with a link to the Google review page and say, oh, hi, how are you? Da-da-da. Just wondered if you could, just pop us a rating on Google, and it is really, really very effective. So that's just a sort of like a simple tip.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Is that a native part of WhatsApp, or do you have to buy a service?
Yeah, no, it's all there. When you go to create a group, most people know how to create a group on WhatsApp. Create new group. I think under that, or in that same drop-down menu, there is create a broadcast group.
Right.
And
I might set one of those up later.
It's quite simple.
Yeah, sounds really, really good. Ian, that's really great. It's been really good to talk to you, and I've loved your answers. And I really like the things you're doing. It's really, really excellent. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
They can call me either on the landline or the mobile. Numbers are on the website, or email us.
What would be the email address to use?
The email address is creator, that's CREATOR, at project with a K, maverick.com.
Okay, Ian, that's really great. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Part of the secret to achieving true success in business is in focusing on the specific things that result in sales and revenue generation. If you are a small business owner or freelancer and you would like to break through overwhelm, gain focus and grow your business, visit myproactivebusiness.com.